It's been nearly 6 years since we last saw a Legend of Zelda console title. After years of waiting, a couple of delays, and endless speculation, Breath of the Wild is finally among us. With rumors of it taking more than 100 hours to experience everything the game has to offer, I haven't come close enough to get through it all to give you a full review. However, games like this only come around once in a while, so I thought it was important to share with you some of my first impressions. And while this impressions video is spoiler-free, the only spoiler I'll tell you is the title is great. Phenomenal even, and you should absolutely play it, but you probably knew that already. The story follows Link 100 years after being defeated by the Calamity Ganon. It begins with Link awakening from a century-long slumber to a voice providing very little information about what has happened to him or what is needed from him now. This is important as it sets the tone for the entire game. You see, where in previous Zeldas you were given direction by where to go or how to play, Breath of the Wild basically lets you loose with pretty much nothing. Remember the companion guides of previous titles like Navi or Midna? Those don't exist in Breath of the Wild. You're on your own. This works really well for the game. Historically, Zelda has always been a title where Link is supposed to be the vessel for the player to live through. In my opinion, Breath of the Wild is the first title where you actually feel that to be true. Link knows only what you know and experiences everything as you experience it. The scope of this game is incredible. Within minutes of starting it, you are greeted with a view of the whole world from upon a cliff, and it is breathtaking. I just can't say enough about the art direction of the title. While it hints of that cel-shading effect similar to that of Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild's slightly more realistic look really helped draw me into the environment. What's arguably more amazing than the landscape is the fact that you can go anywhere. Anywhere. Want to climb a tree? No problem. Want to climb a mountain? No problem. I have on more than one occasion referred to the protagonist of this game as Billy Goat Link, because he's basically free to climb anything outside of a shrine. This is a bit of a departure from traditional Zelda games, and certainly not the only one. First of all, this game is hard, much harder than previous Legend of Zelda titles. It also puts a lot of responsibility on the player for things typically taken for granted. In Breath of the Wild, hearts are not given, they are definitely earned. To do this, the game introduces cooking of food. While I originally worried that this would be mundane, I quickly found coming up with creative concoctions to be interesting and kind of fun. Speaking of creativity, this game really lets you get creative with the crafting and getting around too. If you think something should work, it typically does. For example, think you might be able to make something fly by tying balloons to it? Give it a whirl. You may find yourself in high spirits with the results. It's quite impressive actually. Breath of the Wild breaks free from traditional Zelda constructs all over, and freedom is a recurring theme to much of the game. You are free to do whatever you want. Do you want to fight Ganon first thing? You can. In fact, it's literally the first objective you receive. You'll certainly die, but you can do it. It's the freedom of this game that's captivating, and what I love most. I'll tell you honestly, I'm not traditionally a fan of open world games. I find them too big, too confusing, and too easy for me to lose track of what I'm supposed to do. What differs about Breath of the Wild is that it doesn't matter. There's no set path. You can go anywhere you want at any time and truly play how you want to play. The story is crafted so well that regardless of the sequence of events you take, you still learn more about what's happened to you organically. Where other open world games basically pause the main story while you do side objectives, in Zelda the title never feels that way. In fact, the game feels more like it begs you to find side quests, and is littered with all sorts of secrets if you decide to go exploring. No matter how little you've played, you're almost bound to find something that you'll believe you may be the first person to have discovered. It's a difficult feeling to describe until you experience it, but believe me when I tell you it's magical. Playing Breath of the Wild is guaranteed to make you want to talk about it. So after you're done liking this video and subscribing to the channel, go pick up a copy, or borrow it from a friend. Until then, DFP out.